3, 2, 1, bang.
What's up, everyone? It's Sonos, and I'm sure you've gone through your hell week if you are watching any of the NFL games right now. For some of you, it's been a great time. For others, like me, it's just been suffering after suffering. Anywho, I figured the title, you kind of know where I'm going with this. So a lot of this was triggered with the whole Jon Anik interview he kind of went through recently, and a lot of this all still stem back to UFC 297 because apparently we haven't gotten over any of it yet. So with no further ado, we'll kind of go through some of it. I don't want to go through the whole thing. Figure to give them the credits for all that. So this is part of it. So enjoy, people. As let me rewind it. There you go. And we'll watch along. You'll see what I'm talking about here. You'll laugh at this.
I don't know how much time I have left in this MMA space, because if I go do pro football, I'm not necessarily going to be dealing with this lowest common denominator.
Okay, pause that right there. Jon Anik, I'm going to tell you right now, as someone who has had someone, I don't know, his name is Mike Gober, who's covered the NFL and UFC, who's dealt with a lot of negativity. He never snapped at the fans. He never said anything bad to the fans. Hell, he understands the whole thing. The fact that you're trashing the people that help you and value your paycheck makes me laugh, and it shows how soft you are. And I hate to break it to you, man. The NFL, they're more ruthless than UFC fans or MMA fans. At least MMA fans, they have a fighter to root for, and they get spread out kind of. When it comes to football fans, they are not only just more zealous, they're more ride or die too. And if you have a take against their team, they will let you know, and you will have a lot more of them in numbers to tackle you. So the fact that you're saying that right there shows me ignorance, and it shows me another fact that you should probably stop covering sports if you're that weak-minded. Just saying, man. I don't care if you keep your job, don't keep your job. I ain't going for the whole cancel culture BS. But all I'm saying is, if that's your mentality already, you might as well go to somewhere much easier. Maybe you can go to WWE. You'll be safer there where their results are predetermined. We'll keep going. Let's see if he has anything else to say.
All the time. And I don't know, man, I just feel like there's a lot of malice and disrespect from the fan base, and we can disagree. Don't take it from me. Demetrius Johnson and Kenny Florian thought DDP won the fight.
Okay, well, that fight was a very close fight, for one. That second to third round, a lot of people say it could have gone to either Strickland or DDP. You're right for your opinion about, you can get along and whatever has happened, but at the same time, you're getting this angry about people who you can claim are negative, have malice and all that stuff, but I call it passionate, and sometimes that passion paints you in a really dark light, is all I can say. But it kind of go into the subject of why do we have so many soft people that are involving the sport? If it's MMA media, analyst, journalist, all that. You got people like Luke Thomas. I don't really have to show you too much. You guys know who Luke Thomas is. I agree with some of his statements. He agrees with the whole, to beat the champ, you gotta beat the champ kind of, the whole, oh, you can't leave it to the judges, you gotta basically either unanimous decision or you gotta straight up beat him. I agree with him that that's not true. That's a silly concept, and that's never been the case. Same with whoever has more damage on their face, oh, that means that person, obviously, the one who has more damage on their face is losing. That's not true either. People do not know how to construe the rules correctly in that case. But at the same time, people like Luke Thomas were gladly hoping that the UFC was going to close down during the pandemic, and he called everyone idiots for it. I find that hilarious at the same time, because the man still covers the sport for the UFC and other sports, but, if you're that, how do I say it? If you're that vindictive towards certain aspects of the sport, I have no issue you being critical of it, but dude, if you're that negative, why are you covering the sport in the first place? Then you got your people like, Ariel Helwani. Well, I can't find anything else for him. He's kind of out there. I think he covers almost every sport, so I'll give him credit for that. But there's another man who was crying about the UFC. Dude, the guy has a vendetta against the UFC and Dana White so much, it is absurd. He's also another one who wanted the UFC to basically be canceled during the thing, and he's another one who's basically supporting journalists causing problems because he's a shit stirrer. I'm just saying right here. Ariel Helwani is one who is full for the drama. He stays in a little studio most of the time because I'll be honest with you guys, most of these fighters, they would beat the hell out of him. if he spoke the way he did to some of them in their face. And to be honest, I hope the day happens. I'll have a video one day discussing all the hypocritical double standards and two-faced moments Ariel Helwani has done in the sport, because he is a scumbag and he is a cancer. And speaking of cancers, let's go to the biggest cancer of all. One second, you know him. You got Alexander Lee, the guy who started the whole drama with Sean Strickland. Now, if you want to read his tweet real quick, you can read right here. Based on the last couple of weeks, it's clear... Oh, wait, let me do this correctly. Let's do it.
Based on the last couple of weeks, it's clearer than ever that some UFC and WWE fans have a lot to learn about the role of the media. I'll say this for whoever needs to hear it. The media is not PR for promotion. It is not the media's job to hype up the event. Get it?
And then we got people like here, then why are you asking questions that have nothing to do with fighting? You knew what you were doing. Ask Islam or Habib those questions. You won't. You literally did it for clicks, to hype yourself up. And then someone else on the bottom. It is the media's job to ask questions regarding the sport. The sport. I do not agree with all of Sean Strickland's statements or any other offensive statements from the athletes in MMA. But leave the PC stuff out of it, man, and just ask questions about the fight. Thank you. And that's the problem we're running into. We run into people like this infection right here that is too fixated on drama, clicks, and more importantly, agenda for activism. The stars in the front are the paid product. They are the advertisers said. They can say dumb things they want. And at the end of the day, they're the ones you're paying the tickets for. They're the ones up in the podium. The journalist's job is to journalize. It is not to start drama over things that aren't even related to events. I've had many comments about stupid things about cancer culture. Final time. I'm just going to spell it today. I don't care if these people are in the sport or not, but do your job. If you don't know how to do your job, leave. Go cover a different sport. Or cover PFL or something else. But don't cover the UFC if this is what you're going to do. And then you got people like Man in Fire, training. He definitely understands where Anik's coming from. But, well, dude, you're leaving the sport basically running away. It's been proven. You did it for your documentary stuff, which I respect that it's your job and you've done a great job for it, but you're extremely biased and you are pretty triggered yourself. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the fighters, they have a lot of different views. Some people idiotic views, some people more patriotic, religious. We have a lot of them. I do feel like we're getting to an interesting point. Ever since the 296 event with the Kobe Covington Leon stuff, I find we're getting into a weird spot where it's getting even more polarizing than ever, and we still have a couple of big events coming up. 298 and 299 all the way to 300. Those three events, there's going to be some drama connected to all of those events. But the point I just want to get to is, if you have such an issue with the sport, stop covering it. Seriously, it's probably better for your mental health if you stop covering it. You can be passionate about the sport, you can have an issue with the fans, but come on, be smart about it is all I ask. But anyway, that is all for now. Kind of a short rant video of sorts.